Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody who has both. Should it have been who has both this whole time? Because I've been saying that has both by somebody that has both. Is that wrong? None of you ever said anything anyway. When the one you love has BPD. I get lots of questions sent to me, as you might expect. Some come in the form of comments, some people just tweet at me, all kinds of stuff, right? And we fall into two categories. We have people with BPD, how do I cope with my BPD? And we have my significant other has BPD, how do I cope with their BPD? And it's these ones I'm going to address today. So if you are the person with BPD, just see how much of this I get right, and you can comment below and tell me I'm wrong. That's more of a TikTok thing. Sorry, you guys are pretty nice on here. Anyway, it's a complicated issue, and there's a lot of unknowns and there's relationship stuff mixed in with mental health stuff, right? There's an eagerness to just blurt out something like, you are not responsible for their healing, their problems, whatever. And the truth is, that's not how we love people. That's not what a relationship is. You don't, in a loving, caring relationship with someone, just say, well, this is your problem, good luck with that. You know, that's not what we do, right? So it's not that simple. And I think that is something that is very commonly said, though. It's not your responsibility. And no, you know, it's not entirely your responsibility, but isn't that a relationship? You know, don't we take on some of that responsibility to help our partner go through life and navigate their problems as well as ours? And that's supposed to be reciprocal and all that sort of thing. And, you know, as much as BPD or NPD or any cluster B problem can be a individual problem, if you're in a relationship, it's a problem for that relationship. Especially if, wow, come on, the person with BPD is quite possibly doing things that making that relationship unstable in various ways. You know, this is a feature of the thing. And so, yeah, we kind of have to do stuff to help. You kind of have to get involved in this, because if you don't, I don't know what it's going to do. You do have to set boundaries. You do have to be clear for yourself and to your partner of what you are willing to put up with, what you are able to go through, and that sort of thing. I don't think you're obliged to suffer forever. You know? Life is tough. Life has its ups and downs, and we have to go through the downs with the ups. Otherwise, everyone would just break up after their first argument. But we don't have to destroy our lives, and that doesn't have to happen. You see, I think part of having BPD with a partner is having somebody there who can support you and help you get into treatment. That's an important part of this for me. It always has been. I've always said this, that you can get better from BPD. We can push this thing into remission. We can make these symptoms barely there. And so if we're in a relationship, we have, especially, I mean, this works for if you're single, but especially if you're in a relationship that you want to continue to be in, we have to be working towards that state of remission. We have to be doing stuff, and we have to be making progress, right? Ain't no time for wallowing in it with this one, right? Because we might be hurting somebody else. We might be hurting you, the person who's loving us and trying to go through this with us. So if you're doing that, I think it's very reasonable that what we give on our side is progress, that we do the work, that we go to therapy, we do the DBT, whatever we need, and we are working to become better, and that you see progress, because that's how this is going to go. If you see no progress, then things will just stay how they are. Is that a situation you want to stay in? Probably not. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't blame anyone else for not wanting to. But if there's progress, if there's work being done, if things are getting better and genuinely doing so, then that changes things, doesn't it? And this leads me to a very important part, because a question I get asked a lot. A lot. Like the most popular question from a person who doesn't have BPD is, how do I talk to them about their BPD? That's not actually a BPD question in my book. That's not what it is. We've themed it on BPD, but that's not what it is. This is a relationship question. How do you talk to your partner about their anything? The key to a great relationship is communication. That's it. You need to be able to say anything to your partner about how you're feeling. And as a partner, they need to be receptive to that. And when you're talking to your partner about BPD, it's just the same as anything else. It's a sensitive subject. You might need to be careful, and only you know how to be careful with your partner. But that's all it is. It's the same as talking to them about anything else. That's a really important thing to be able to do. Are there things you can't talk to them about? That's not a good thing from a relationship standpoint. And to be able to work around that, I mean, we're into some relationship counseling stuff that is way out of my field here. And hey, maybe I don't know if I'm somebody to be offering relationship advice in that way. So how do you talk to your partner about their BPD? Now, asterisk here. Are you somebody who's decided that your partner has BPD and you want to tell them that you think they've got that? Because that's a very different thing. What I would talk to your partner about, if you're in this situation, look, if your partner is diagnosed BPD, is going to therapy, whatever, then talking to them about it is going to be a pretty straightforward thing that they're going to be able to cope with, right? If you're coming at this from another angle, like you're not getting along, your partner has all these problems that you think, and you've done some researching on YouTube and decided BPD is what it is, I need a way to tell them they've got BPD. That's not a good path to take. You can't diagnose them. Look, they may have BPD. That might be their problem. But you don't know that, I don't know that, we can't diagnose them. What we do know, and what you should talk about, this is my advice for what it's worth, is you know how their behavior is making you feel. Regardless of what is causing that behavior, what it is, where it's coming from, you know how that's making you feel. And if that's making you feel bad, then that should be something you can talk to them about. And saying how you feel about things is not the same as coming at things in an accusory way of, you have BPD. You need to get help. And also, if they are in pain in a way that you can see and notice, can you talk about them getting help regardless of what it might be? Because it might not be BPD, right? It could be all sorts of things at this point. We don't know. So we need to get them in front of a mental health professional. They need to see their doctor and say they don't feel good. All that stuff. They need to see a therapist. That is how you help us. We need that support. Either we know we need it, or we don't, and we're just in pain, and we think this pain can't stop. And we need to be able to tell you how we feel, what we're going through, all of this stuff, and we need somebody who can understand and just try and help us make that pain go away. And we can make that pain go away by getting therapy, by getting help, right? It's a very doable thing. It's not a forever thing, right? And it's very hard to go through it alone as well. As I've said, YouTube is all well and good, right? Listening to me, watching other creators, that's fine, but this is not therapy. Going through having BPD undiagnosed, unhelped, and just watching YouTube, this is a long way round. This is, if at all, it's a way there. I don't know. And we might need encouraging into help. We might need to fight to get that help. I mean, heck, I went through years and years and years of being fobbed off on antidepressants and asking for help. And I needed help to get that help. And that's here, where healthcare is mainly free. So I can't imagine what it's like somewhere else to be able to have somebody in our corner arguing they're not well, they need help. Please help them. That is so helpful to us. Even if help doesn't come straight away, then knowing that you understand that we need that help and that you're helping us to get it and we're working together on that, it is so important. It is so crucial to it. It is wonderful to feel that level of support. And while it's happening, I don't know, it's our job to try and be receptive to stuff, which can be difficult. I mean, depending where we are on our healing journey, if we're right at the beginning, then accepting help, feeling you need help, or that there is anything that does help, can be difficult. And it gets easier to know that. It gets easier to accept going along that you can get better and that there is help to be had. But while we're waiting for that help, just knowing that someone sort of understands there's something wrong, that we do need help. The way we act out is crying in pain. Right? The things that we do, the rages, the tantrums, the fears, the crying, the clinginess, all of it is our crying out in pain. And we want to stop being in pain. And it's very difficult while you're still in that pain to just stop screaming. Right? If your leg is broken, it still hurts when the ambulance is on the way. Okay? And so this is where your boundaries come in, and you have to decide what is important for you, what is something you can put up with. And look, I'm not going to tell you to stay with somebody through a particular type of behavior or anything like that. This is something you have to decide for yourself. But you need to talk to us. That's the key in all of it. My advice is just start talking. And being able to talk about your feelings, about how you feel, about how things are affecting you, are an essential part of a relationship. And if you can't do that, then that's, I don't know, I feel that's a problem in a relationship, not a BPD issue as such. And maybe look at your approach, look at what you're trying to say, look at what you're trying to communicate to us. I understand we can be touchy, but, we are willing to hear that we've got a problem, I think, on the BPD side of things. We feel so bad, right? We're in so much pain. And to have somebody come along and say, you're not supposed to be in this much pain, let's help you get out of it. It's difficult to react badly to that. Okay? If we were saying how to talk to your loved one about narcissism, we'd be having a very different conversation right now. Okay? Because there we're dealing with people who don't really want to acknowledge that there's anything wrong, right? I'm perfect, I'm great, what do you mean there's something wrong? I don't need therapy, I'm not going to therapy. That's NPD. BPD is please just stop the pain. It hurts so much. And honestly, talking to us about it, I was always receptive to that. As I say, this is my experience, my story. Your mileage may vary, and yeah. But that communication is key. Go for it, try it, do it. Just start talking. Just start talking. Because I think if a relationship can break down because one of you shared how you feel about things, that's not a good relationship, is it? Regardless of cluster B or anything else, right? So you should just be able to talk. I hope it works out. I hope you can work through things and everybody gets the help they need. Let me know in the comments below. I don't know what that's about. I'm just used to saying it. Follow me on Patreon. I got sad. It's a serious subject. YouTube memberships. Twitter. I'm not saying the new name. Bye bye.